I sat on the other side of the house, and I couldn't believe what I heard. That was a good move. Yeah. So we don't know if we're hiring illegals or not, or state contracts going to them. We don't care, I guess. Yeah. What is wrong with this picture?
A lot. The governor.
I can only say that, like Senator Marr and Senator Kendall, that the bill, we're going to try to pass it on the Senate side, but I'm obviously missing our leadership on the Senate. I don't see our leadership on the House. I don't know where they're hiding. It's like the mouse in the house. I don't know where they are. Where are they?
In the woodwork.
This is wrong. Rhode Island knows it's wrong. I know URI knows it's wrong. God bless, I hope the funding doesn't dry up. But this is not right. What if one parent with a Rhode Island child gets bumped, does not get in this URI because an illegal alien bumped him or her? This is wrong. Thank you very much. I know you're freezing. God bless America.
Excellent. Big round of applause, Senator Sibley. Folks, our final speaker of the night, and we will keep up the fight. You're tremendous for coming out. But our message to the governor is very clear. You're not going to take our state away from us. You're not going to take our country away from us. You're not going to turn Rhode Island into a sanctuary state. We're not going to stand by. It's not going to happen. Please welcome Attorney Matt Famish.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you especially to the Ocean State Tea Party in Action for inviting me to speak this afternoon. I represent the Stephen Hopkins Center for Civil Rights. We are tasked with defending the rights of all Rhode Islanders to speak out against government overreaching, to earn an honest living in the profession of their choosing, and to be secure in the property rights and to defend those property rights in the manner that they see fit. We've heard from many Rhode Islanders this afternoon about the various abuses promulgated by this governor. How he cavalierly disregarded the judgment of the Congress of the United States, which says you cannot extend benefits to illegal aliens that you do not extend to fellow citizens from other states. How he cavalierly disregards the judgment of the Rhode Island General Assembly, which in one of its few moments of wisdom has decided not to pass this type of legislation for 7 years running. How he again disrespected the judgment of the General Assembly when he promulgated an executive order creating the healthcare exchanges, and when he thumbed his nose at the federal judiciary, which is currently deciding the question of constitutionality on Obamacare. In rushing to implement Obamacare here in Rhode Island, this governor ensures less choice and more cost in medical care. And perhaps most egregiously, by all these actions, this governor thumbs his nose at the venerable principle of separation of powers. It is fundamental to the American way of life that it is the General Assembly's role, the legislature's role, to create the law, the judiciary's role to interpret the law, and the governor's role to faithfully and with fidelity to the determinations of the other branches carry those laws into execution. Indeed, it's ironic that here in Rhode Island, only a few short years ago, the population of this state re-emphasized and re-endorsed those principles of separation of powers when it passed the state constitutional amendment. Indeed, perhaps it was our founders' greatest innovation, their most important insight, that by separating these functions of government, we ensure the liberty of all our citizens. Yet, what this governor has been doing is so wrong, not only because he's misinformed. It's not that he doesn't understand what his proper constitutional role is. How do we know? Just last week, he issued the Compassion Center decision, in which, shockingly, He cited the state constitution. He cited the proper executive role of the legislature, the proper executive role, and limited his carrying out of the laws accordingly. So this is not a governor that doesn't understand what the proper function of an executive is. This is a governor who consistently is determined to advance his agenda at all costs without regard to constitutional limitations. But the reason we're here today is not to commiserate in our frustrations. It's not to sit idly by and watch the developments from the sidelines. I mentioned earlier that I represent the Stephen Hopkins Center for Civil Rights. We take to the courts to defend civil rights. And our namesake, Stephen Hopkins, had previously served as a governor of the state of Rhode Island, as a chief justice of the state of Rhode Island, and as a speaker of the House of the state of Rhode Island. But his most important role was as a signer of the Declaration of Independence, when he said, as an individual who suffered from neurological disorder, "My hand tremors, but my heart does not." For all of us here today, we must take that message forward. The fact that you are all here today, standing in front of this House, bringing your message to these legislators, bringing your message to this governor, shows that you too understand the principle of not allowing your hearts to tremor in defense of liberty. And we're joined across the nation by people who are ready to take a challenge to Obamacare to the Supreme Court, by people who have replaced Congress with a Congress that is willing and able and ready to respect the will of the people. And in 2012, we're going to do the same thing to this General Assembly here, and in 2014, the same thing to this governor. You all contribute in your own ways. The Ocean State Tea Party in action by tirelessly lobbying members of the General Assembly. Every day this chamber is in session, every day this General Assembly is in session, members of the Ocean State Tea Party in action, and all the groups that were affiliated and that decided to participate in today's activities are here, missing dinners, missing time with family, representing the people to our elected representatives. Whether it's the various patriot groups, RILE, Ocean State Tea Party in action, all of you must understand what it means to not let your hearts tremor in defense of liberty. And thus I say to you today, go forth and let not your hearts tremor.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap it up, I just want to give a special thank you to the host, John DePietro, who has done a great job. He brings the message out. He fights for the people every day. And his wit, his intellect, and his great abilities just lend itself to this rally. And I can't thank him enough.
Thank you, Joe. Folks, this concludes. I want to thank Representative Doreen Costa, the charged ahead with this. Here she is. Contact your legislator. Stay involved. We're not going away. This fight continues. Thank you for coming. Get home safely. Good night. God bless America. Thank you.